Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you happen to be in this great big world. Welcome to the Doc Bryant Show. I am your host, Doc Bryant. Why Doc? Because I am a former Fleet Marine Force Navy Hospital Corpsman. We are the combat medics for the Marine Corps and the Navy. And Doc is what they call us, and Doc is the name that is tattooed on my soul. For both of you who follow me, you may know that I have been in a discussion, or had been in a discussion, a theological discussion, with a couple of Sikhs, this occurring after the dust-up of the Sikh prayer that was used to close the first night of the RNC convention. And the use of the terminology, our one true God, when referring to the Sikh God Waheguru. And the discussion was basically, Sikhism, what it is universalism. Sikhism is this concept that there are many ways to God, that God is this formless, genderless, spiritual entity. And as a result, the heaven that they have, they don't really believe in a heaven or a hell. Rather, they believe in complete and total enlightenment. This religion came about because of, the founder of the religion, Guru Nanak, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, please forgive me. He was born in the 1400s during a time of great strife in what is now Pakistan, but in those regions, and there was a lot of friction between Hindus and Muslims, and he created this religion, Sikhism, in order to kind of bring peace between those two groups, because there was a lot of fighting between those two groups. There still is to quite an extent. And it was fairly successful as far as this universalism, many ways to God. So Islam is right and Allah is just another term for Waheguru, which that side of it appealed to the Hindus and the whole enlightenment thing, and getting rid of all of your material, earthly, non-spiritual desires, etc., etc. And there's a lot of good stuff that comes from this concept of basically just be nice to each other, is ultimately what the whole thing boils down to. Y'all just be nice to each other. Stop fighting each other. And that's great. That's all well and good, and in as far as it goes. But when I was discussing this with the guy, I said that, I follow Jesus of Nazareth, who is the Christ, the Son of God, the second person in the triune Godhead. And he said that he is the way, the truth, the life. No one comes to the Father but through him, and I believe him. He didn't say he was a way, a truth, and a life. There is no room for universalism in Christianity. You either follow Christ, you accept Christ as your Savior, you have a personal relationship, a one-on-one personal relationship with Christ, or you don't. And if you don't, if you're the latter, then you are not saved. You don't get to go to heaven and be with God forever. And I explained to him, see, the very crux of this is the fact that Christ died. He was crucified by Pilate. He was buried, and he came back and rose again from the grave. And he was seen, and this is documented despite the fact that there are so very many people out there who say that it is not. This is documented that he was seen by multiple people walking around and teaching after he was dead, just the same way that they saw him walking around and teaching before he was dead. In one particular instance, there was more than 500 people present that saw him teaching after he was dead. Now, anybody that can do that, anybody that can conquer death, to me, that is somebody that needs to be listened to. So I listened to him, and the only scriptures that he ever refers to are the ancient Hebrew scriptures that are currently encapsulated in the Old Testament. That being the law, the history, the poetry, the prophets. And that's all he referred to. He never mentioned anybody named Wahageru, and he was very, very clear about the fact that that there is only one way to go to heaven, and he's it. You believe in him, and that's all. Now, the Sikhs could refer to the fact that Guru Nanak, he disappeared. Nobody knows where his grave is. In fact, he theoretically, his body disappeared from this material plane. And there was, when he was dying, a question of whether he would be buried as in the Muslim tradition or whether he would be cremated as in the Hindu tradition. And he said that after I die, have the Muslims lay flowers on one side of my body and the Hindus lay flowers on the other side of my body, and then cover me up. And then after I die, whosever flowers have not wilted, that's how you go ahead and take care of my earthly coil, because I'm not going to care, because I'm not going to be here anymore, basically. And then after he died, they came back and they removed the sheet, and according to legend, his body had disappeared, and both flowers, both sides of the flowers, were fresher than they were when they were put down. And so, in true unifying fashion, which was his concept in the first place, is bringing these two disparate beliefs together, one group made one shrine to him, and another group made another shrine to him, both in the same city, and both shrines are visited by both groups. So I guess the whole unification thing didn't really work. But they could say, well, see, Guru Nanak, his body disappeared and nobody knows where his body is either, just like your Jesus. Yeah, but he didn't rise bodily from the grave, and my guy did. Jesus rose bodily. I say my guy like I had anything to do with it. Jesus rose bodily from the grave. And again, that is documented by many sources and also attested to by the fact that thousands of people in the first century church and beyond were willing to die for that belief. Certainly all of the original apostles, with the exception of one, died horrific deaths, all of them to the very end, testifying to the fact that they saw the risen Christ. And you know what? You just don't do that unless it's true. So there you have it, folks. That's why I'm a Christian. I'm not a Christian because I had some great, huge emotional revelation of some kind, and I'm not knocking that by any means. That's just not the way that my brain works. That's not the way that my brain responds. I don't go for the emotionalism type stuff. I am a Christian because I have seen that the preponderance of evidence is in favor of Christianity, as opposed to many other religions where the preponderance of evidence simply is not. So, there you go. That's what I have to say on that particular subject. If you like what you heard, hit the like and subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell so you can find out when I post new stuff. And please, if you found this helpful, if you enjoyed this, share this video out there to your friends and to folks who you think will enjoy it or will be annoyed by it. Once again, thank you all for listening, and I will talk to you all later.